Hello, David Wallman here, and today I want to talk to you about this thing by Xsonic. This is the Xtone Pro. It's a high-quality sound interface for computers, Macs, PC, but also for, just like I did in the intro, for your iPhone or iPad. I was using an iPhone in the intro, not even the latest iPhone at all. It's an old, I think it's an iPhone 5S. And that's all I was using. So my guitar was going straight into this, which I will tell you a lot more about in a second. And the Xtone was plugged to my iPhone. So for those of you who are curious, I was using Bias Effects and a plugin by Eventide, a reverb plugin called the Black Hole. And the reason I'm talking to you about this today on the channel is that guitar players are going to love this. First of all, it's a sound interface. It's a sound interface that allows you to bring your guitars or really any other instruments into your DAW. Computer DAW, Mac, PC, or you can also use your guitar with all the different apps that are available on your phone or iPad. In this case, I was using Bias Effects, which I also reviewed on the channel. It's an awesome piece of software. It's an awesome app, high quality sounds. Well, your guitar brought into your iPhone via the Xtone Pro will give your phone the best signal possible. It has phantom power. It also has some very convenient inputs and outputs knob right on the top, and the switches. In this case, I'm simply switching presets using the Xtone Pro. But I can also assign these knobs to whatever effect I want. In this case, I configured Bias Effects so that this switch will engage or disengage the delay. And then I used this switch to engage or disengage the drive. This makes it really easy to make the Xtone work in your rig the way you want it to work. Speaking of control, you can plug in an expression pedal if you'd like, so you can control your wahs, your volume, anything that can be controlled with an expression pedal, you can do it through this. This really opens up a lot of possibilities with all the apps that are available online. Another very useful feature of these MIDI switches, because they are programmable, you can assign them to whatever you want, you can use different looping apps that are available. Here I'm using an app called Quanti-Loop. You have 4 individual loops, and I simply assigned the different switches of the Xtone Pro to trigger the record, play for all the different loopers available in Quanti-Loop. You can also use any XLR instruments. There's an XLR in. You can activate or deactivate phantom power also, so this will power all your phantom power microphones. I can also record my amps if I want to, again using the XLR. In this case, I'm going to use my Fender amp microphone in front, and I'm going to record some guitars straight into GarageBand using the Xtone Pro. As far as power goes, you can power the Xtone Pro with a 9-volt power supply, or it can be directly powered by USB on iOS, Mac, or PC, and that makes it very convenient to just put this in your backpack and go do some music wherever you want. I told you about the quality of recording. This can record 24 bits and up to 192 kilohertz sample rate. It has a dynamic range of 114 decibels. The quality of the converters is particularly useful when you're using an app such as this one, which is MIDI Guitar, which allows you to convert your signal, your guitar signal, straight into MIDI with your phone. Now let's talk about the latency a little bit. The latency is an extremely important aspect of recording into the digital world. The latency is the length, the time it takes between your delivery, whether you're playing or singing, and what you're hearing back processed through, in this case, my phone. There's always going to be latency whenever you're involving apps or software. It's always going to be there. The trick is to bring that latency to the lowest possible length of time. Now, this brings you ultra low latency. You're not going to perceive it. Not only that, but you also have the option to directly monitor what you're recording so that you can hear your guitar, your vocals, whatever you're recording directly through the Xtone Pro. It's direct monitoring, which means that you'll have zero latency in that case. You won't hear the effects that you're using on your phone, but it's very useful for singers, for example, or if you're recording a clean guitar and effects are not a main part of the performance, you can do that too. Now I mentioned the 6 high quality MIDI switches here that can control the MIDI capability of your apps via the USB cable. You also get a MIDI in and out. That means that these switches can control any other MIDI instruments. I really like this. It's very versatile. It's small. It fits in a backpack. It's well built. Very high quality, higher quality than other similar sound interfaces that I've seen. Again, it allows you to record on your computers, but also on your iPhones, on your iPads. It's really awesome. And the switches are really high quality switches. I love that. And I forgot to mention too, you do have headphones out, so you don't need to plug this into anything else if you're just practicing headphones. And also, if you get the Xtone Pro comes with a redeem card to grab Positive Grid's Bias Effects Essentials, which means that you're going to load up on sounds for free. This is a $20 value. And for those of you who prefer getting the Xtone or the Xtone Duo, which we'll talk about in a second, you will get a free redeem code to grab JamUp Pro. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the other versions of Xsonics sound interfaces. The Xtone sound interfaces come in 3 different flavors. There's the Xtone Pro that we talked about today, but there's also the Xtone and the Xtone Duo. They're all great. They all have very high quality signal to record. That doesn't change. So regardless of the model you're getting high quality guitars into your DAW or your apps. But there are a few differences too. The number of switches, for example, or the direct monitoring. Regardless of the version that you pick, you're still going to get that solid construction, very high quality recording into the interface of your choice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have been looking for a portable sound interface that is easy to use, that doesn't break the bank and it sounds awesome, check out Xsonics sound interfaces. They're great. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you very soon. Practice well.